Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Today we are embarking on a deep dive into Michelle Obama's insightful book, The Look. And we're not just, talking about clothes here. We're digging into how she used fashion as this really powerful lens.
Exactly. A lens to explore identity, confidence, and, well, the absolutely history-making role of being the first Black First Lady.
So our mission today is to trace this journey.
It's a chronological one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see how her relationship with style went from what she calls a regular person closet in Chicago.
To becoming this global style icon whose every choice sent a message.
Potent messages, yeah. Diplomatic, political, all of it.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Her earliest lesson in clothes. She talks about a brown polyester dress from Sears.
I love that story because when you think about where she ended up, at Atelier Versace,
Right.
it's an incredible arc. But that Sears dress is really the foundation of her entire philosophy. It wasn't about looking fancy.
It was about feeling good.
It was about confidence and function. She picked it herself as a kid because it didn't wrinkle and it hid stains. It was a tool, really, a way to get through her day without any fuss.
The practicality got tested pretty quickly when she was suddenly thrown into the spotlight.
Oh, yeah. Fast forward to 2004, Barack is giving that keynote at the DNC, and she is totally unprepared for the level of attention. It was a crash course in public dressing.
She calls it panic shopping.
It was. She's still a full-time working mom, 2 young kids, and she treats this whole thing like a total one-off event. The outfit she gets, this crisp white taffeta suit from Bloomingdale's, she grabs it right before the flight.
And the detail that just kills me is the risks she took. Wearing a single white outfit for a national TV event.
With no backup.
No backup. That just tells you everything, doesn't it? It shows how little they understood the kind of scrutiny that was about to hit them.
Exactly. But after that speech, everything changed. The realization started to sink in that this might just be the new normal.
Which leads directly to the call from Oprah.
Of course. The ultimate spotlight. And what's so interesting is that for that big interview for O Magazine, she didn't run out and get something fancy.
No, she retreated. She wore her own comfortable white capri pants and a pink sweater.
It shows where her head was at, She went for what felt safe, what felt authentic to her. But that moment was a pivot.
Because Oprah gave her that gift.
Ralph Lauren suits and sweaters. That was her first real taste of, high-quality, upscale designer clothing. She talks about feeling the fabric and realizing, oh, this is an investment. This is another kind of tool.
A tool she definitely needed, because when Barack announced for president in 2007, the demands just exploded.
It was completely unsustainable. She couldn't repeat outfits with the media watching every single day, and they were still paying off student loans.
And the comparison is so unfair.
Totally. Barack just has to switch his tie and bam, new look. She needs a whole new outfit every time. She needed a strategy.
And that's where Maria Pinto, the Chicago designer, comes in.
Maria Pinto was a game changer. She provided these tailored, modern sheath dresses.
What was so great about them?
They were just easy, elegant, professional, and they didn't require a ton of styling. They were a uniform that saved her so much time and mental energy. And Pinto's support was personal. She just looked at her and said, I got you.
I got you. Wow. In the middle of all that chaos.
That promise of stability was foundational for what came next.
Okay, so let's move to the next phase. The White House transition. Election night 2008.
That outfit was a statement. The black and red Narciso Rodriguez dress. It was graphic, it was bold. People called it super provocative.
It wasn't a traditional safe choice at all.
Not at all. The designer himself said it was meant to signal that change had arrived. It was modern and unafraid.
And if that was bold, Inauguration Day was just meticulously calculated.
Every single detail. For the swearing-in, she chose that Isabel Toledo lemongrass dress and coat.
The color was so striking.
It was pure optimism. That sunny yellow-green just screamed hope. It was a visual reflection of the theme, a new birth of freedom.
And then, the inaugural ball. The Jason Wu gown. I mean, everyone expected a big, established name.
It's like an Oscar de la Renta, sure. But choosing Jason Wu, a young Taiwanese-born, basically unknown designer, that was the real power move.
Why was that so significant?
Because it was fashion as diplomacy. She was signaling that this administration would buck the establishment. She used her spotlight to lift up a young, immigrant designer who was outside the usual circle. It was a message of inclusion from day one.
And that really set up her whole philosophy as First Lady, didn't it? Relatability in action.
Yes, she was first lady as a verb.
The J. Crew moment is the perfect example.
It is. She's on Jay Leno, and he's guessing her outfit costs, what, $60,000 or $70,000?
Something insane like that, yeah. And she just says,
J. Crew, one word. At the height of the Great Recession. I mean, the strategic brilliance of that.
it was so smart, it just cut through all the noise about elitism.
And her whole style was built on function and connection. She had this O-shape hug test.
Meaning she had to be able to actually hug people in her clothes.
To properly hug anyone at any time. She also wore bright colors to seem warm and inviting, and flats or sneakers when she was with kids for her Let's Move initiatives. She wanted to connect, not create distance.
But that practicality often got her into trouble. The cardigans.
Oh, the cardigans. People lost their minds. They said it was too casual to meet the queen, that it wasn't respecting protocol.
But for her, it was just the most practical piece of clothing.
Exactly. It was versatile, it works with her schedule, and it really highlights the core tension, right? Stick to old stuffy rules or be an authentic, modern working mom.
A choice she had to make while under this incredible microscope.
It was a white-hot glare, and it was absolutely amplified by her race. She talks about the relentless, angry black woman trope that was used to undermine her.
The New Yorker cartoon.
The cartoon comparing their fist bump to a terrorist act. It just shows the impossible tightrope she was forced to walk every single day.
And every fashion choice was attacked. What were the big ones?
There was Shortsgate. In 2009, she wore shorts for a hike at the Grand Canyon.
A perfectly normal thing to do.
You'd think. But critics called it unfirst ladylike. She said it was so painful to be criticized for being, common. And then there were her arms.
The sleeveless dresses, it
Yeah.
became this bizarre fixation.
A total fixation. She pointed out that Jackie Kennedy wore sleeveless dresses all the time without any uproar. It was just another way to otherize her, to imply she didn't belong in that world.
But she was so smart about it, she realized if they were going to stare, she could control what they saw.
She weaponized the fascination. That was her strategy. You want to talk about my dress? Fine. Let's talk about the young BIPOC designer who made it. You want a picture of my cardigan? Great. Take it while I'm in the garden talking about healthy eating.
Which required a serious team behind the scenes. The trifecta.
Her tactical engine room, Meredith Coupe, her stylist, started almost by accident as a valet and then took over styling in 2010. She created Boutique Coupe inside the White House.
And that wasn't just picking out pretty dresses.
No way. It was logistics. Custom designs, fittings, and planning for every possible contingency, even preparing backup outfits in case of a national tragedy. The weight of that nonverbal communication was immense.
And the beauty team had to be just as prepared.
Absolutely. Carl Ray, her makeup artist, his job was to make sure her features were always camera ready under harsh lights in huge arenas, so contour, highlights, false lashes. It was all about projecting strength and clarity.
Okay, so let's move to the global stage. The state dinners. This is fashion as high diplomacy.
Pure wardrobe diplomacy. For the very first one, hosting India in 2009, she wore a gown by the Indian-American designer Naeem Khan.
A direct nod to her guests.
A beautiful, elegant nod. It was a celebration of their shared heritage, and by the end of her second term, her confidence was just off the charts.
The Versace gown.
The Versace gown. For the final state dinner with Italy, she decided to just lean into fashion. The spectacular 15-pound rose gold chainmail dress.
15 pounds.
It was a statement that said, I have mastered this, and now I'm just going to enjoy the art of it. She even joked about the challenge of just walking down the stairs in it without tripping.
And that same intention carried through all her travels, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the Let Girls Learn initiative.
Always. She'd wear designers from the host countries like Maria Cornejo in Chile, but she also knew when to step back from fashion.
Like at the door of no return in Senegal.
Exactly, a place of such profound pain. She wore stretchy pants and flats, no fuss. It was about comfort and solemnity, not glamour.
The book also gets into the politics of her hair, which is a huge part of this story.
It's a critical part. She confirms that she kept her hair straightened for 8 years, specifically to avoid it becoming a talking point.
She knew it would become a whole cultural debate.
And she didn't want that distraction. So to protect her hair from all that daily heat styling, she started using wigs and extensions like one she called the Gilda.
And even a small change, like getting bangs.
Became the bang heard around the world. It was just for hair health, but it generated dozens of articles. It just proved that every single choice, no matter how small, was under that microscope.
So after the White House, she finally gets that freedom, and her style immediately changes.
It's an instant shift. The looks start broadcasting Michelle Obama the person, not the First Lady. She moves away from dresses and fully embraces pantsuits, trousers, jumpsuits.
The Becoming tour was the real celebration of that,
Oh,
though.
absolutely. That was pure joy and confidence. Higher heels, showstopper outfits for these huge arenas, and, of course,
The boots.
the boots that broke the internet. The Balenciaga outfit with those thigh-high gold sequined boots. It was just a signal of total fashion independence.
And then finally, the journey back to her natural hair. The braids.
It feels like the final piece of the puzzle, right? It started with a vacation photo that went viral, and then by 2022, she's fully embracing protective styles. It all culminates in her official White House portrait where she's wearing her hair in a chignon of braids.
Asserting her identity on the very grounds where she once had to conform.
It's an incredibly powerful full-circle moment, and that confidence just continues. At the 2024 DNC, she wore that Monsi deconstructed pantsuit, and everyone read it as bearing arms for the fight.
She says in the book that at 60 she feels more beautiful and more myself than ever before.
And you can see it. She proves that confidence is internal, and she's still using that spotlight to lift others up, like wearing Sergio Hudson at the 2021 inauguration.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? What's the big takeaway?
Well, the book is really a masterclass in strategic self-presentation. Michelle Obama used fashion as a language of diplomacy, of inclusion, of personal power. She moved from J. Crew to Versace, but the goal was never just to look good.
It was to use the attention, to elevate others, to focus the conversation back on substance.
And her legacy, really, is in democratizing style and opening doors. The fact that her choices made sure BIPOC designers could no longer be overlooked, that's a historical moment for fashion, for equality, for opportunity.
So here's a final thought. Her story is about this incredible balancing act, isn't it?
It is. Between her authentic self, her need for practical, accessible clothes, and navigating this intense scrutiny and rigid expectations. So the question for you is, how do you find that same balance? How do you present your authentic self while still adapting to the expectations of the rooms you have to enter every day? That's a universal challenge.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.